During Benedict's papacy, the ranks of trainee priests in Australia swelled. The nation's seminaries are the busiest they've been for decades, with recent abuse scandals not deterring young men from entering the priesthood.
In just a few years, these young men will be leading their own parishes across the country. The Brisbane Seminary is purpose-built for a modern generation.
Young people are coming forward enthusiastically to give themselves for a life of service in the church.
The church says the nation's 7 seminaries are now bustling after a slump during the 1980s and 90s. The total number of Catholic men now enrolling to become priests across the country is rising sharply, especially in the last 2 years. Leaders say revelations of abuse aren't stopping young men devoting their lives to the church.
They have a really solid conviction that they need to be in the world proclaiming the good news.
Priest in training Tom Zaransky says his faith's been tested but strengthened in recent months.
I think there's an amazing energy in the church. It's a very positive place to be, and we've got great news to tell people.
Peter Kennedy was removed from the church 4 years ago after straying away from Catholic dogma. He says the church needs to get back to basics.
If Jesus turned up at the conclave on Tuesday, I don't think he'd get in. They wouldn't have a seat for him.
Despite some moves towards a more charismatic congregation, many of the traditional followers are still hungry for the Latin Mass, which dates back to the 6th century.
You've got on one side this charismatic guitars and singing, and then on the other side you've got this Latin Mass where it's spoken in Latin, and the priest isn't facing you, and it's very quiet and prayerful.
They're now focusing their prayers on the selection of the next Pope. Josh Bavis, ABC News, Brisbane.